Good evening. Tonight is not for effort. Tonight is a threshold, not a destination, not a goal. You don't need to listen closely. You don't need to remember. Let this be something that happens nearby while you drift somewhere else. If sleep comes in, let it. If it doesn't, that's fine too. We'll walk gently until the day lets go. We'll begin tonight's reading with selected poems by me, by the delicious Christina Rossetti. Dreamland, where sunless rivers weep their waves into the deep. She sleeps a charmed sleep, awake or not. Led by a single star, she came from very far to seek where shadows are a pleasant lot. She left the rosy morn, she left the fields of corn for twilight cold and lorn and water springs. Through sleep, as through a veil, she sees the sky look pale and hears the nightingale that sadly sings. Rest, rest, a perfect rest, shed over brow and breast. Her face is toward the west, the purple land. She cannot see the grain ripening on hill and plain. She cannot feel the rain upon her hand. Rest, rest forevermore upon a mossy shore. Rest, rest at the heart's core till time shall cease. Sleep that no pain shall wake, night that no morn shall break, till joy shall overtake her perfect peace. Rest, O earth, lie heavily upon her eyes, seal her sweet eyes weary of watching earth. Lie close around her, leave no room for mirth, with harsh laughter nor for sound of sighs. She had no questions, she had no replies. Hushed in and curtained with blessed dearth of all that irked her from the hour of birth, with stillness that is almost paradise. Darkness more clear than noonday holdeth her, silence more musical than any song. Even her very heart has ceased to stir. Until the morning of eternity, her rest shall not begin nor end, but be. And when she wakes, she will not think it long. From sunset to starrise, go from me, summer friends, and tarry not. I am no summer friend, but wintry cold. A silly sheep benighted from the fold, a sluggard with thorn-choked garden plot. Take counsel, sever from my lot your lot. Dwell in your pleasant places, hoard your gold, lest you with me should shiver on the wold, athirst and hungering on a barren spot. For I have hedged me with a thorny hedge. I live alone, I look to die alone. Yet sometimes when a wind sighs through the sedge, ghosts of my buried years and friends come back. My heart goes sighing after sorrow's flown on sometime summer's unreturning track. Love from the North. I had a love in soft Southland, beloved through April, far in May. He waited on my lightest breath and never dared to say me nay. He saddened if my cheer was sad, but gay he grew if I was gay. We never differed on a hair. My yes is yes, my nay is nay. The wedding hour was come, the aisles were flushed with sun and flowers that day. I, pacing balanced in my thoughts, it's quite too late to think of May. My bridegroom answered in his turn, myself had almost answered yea, when through the flashing nave I heard a struggle and resounding nay. Bridemaids and bridegroom shrunk in fear, but I stood high who stood at bay. And if I answer yea, fair sir, what man art thou to bear with me? He was a strong man from the north, light-locked, with eyes of dangerous grey. Put yea by for another time, in which I will not say thee nay. He took me in his strong white arms, he bore me on his horse away o'er crag, morass, and hairpith pass, but never asked me yea or nay. He made me fast with book and bell, with links of love he makes me stay. Till now I have neither heart nor power, nor will nor wish to say him nay. You may hear my cat purring in the background. I'm not sure I should apologize. I hope you're a cat person. So, let us continue. Spring. Frost locked all the winter, seeds and roots and stones of fruits. What shall make their sap ascends that they may put forth shoots? Tips of tender green, leaf or blade or sheath, telling of the hidden life that breaks forth underneath, life nursed in its grave by death. Blows the thaw wind pleasantly, drips the soaking rain, by fits looks down the waking sun, young grass springs on the plain. Young leaves clothe early hedgerow trees, seeds and roots and stones of fruits, swollen with sap, put forth their shoots. Curled-headed ferns sprout in the lane, birds sing and bear again. There is no time like spring, when life's alive in everything. Before new nestlings sing, before cleft swallows beat their journey back along the trackless track. God guides their wing, He spreads their table that they nothing lack. Before the daisy grows a common flower, before the sun has power to scorch the world up in his noontide hour. There is no time like spring that passes by. There is no life like spring, life born to die, piercing the sod, clothing the uncouth clod, hatched in the nest, fledged on the windy bow, strong on the wing. There is no time like spring that passes by, now newly born and now hastening to die. My dream. Hear now a curious dream I dreamed last night. Each word whereof is weighed and sifted truth. I stood beside Euphrates while it swelled, like overflowing Jordan in its youth. It waxed and colored sensibly to sight, till out of myriad pregnant waves there welled young crocodiles, a gaunt blunt-featured crew, fresh hatched perhaps, and daubed with birthday dew. The rest, if I should tell, I fear my friend, my closest friend, would deem the facts untrue, and therefore it were wisely left untold. Yet if you will, why hear it to the end. Each crocodile was girt with massive gold and polished stones that with their wearers grew. But one there was who waxed beyond the rest, wore kinglier girdle and a kingly crown, whilst crowns and orbs and scepters starred his breast. All gleamed compact and green with scale on scale, but special burnishment adorned his mail, and special terror weighed upon his frown. His puny brethren quaked before his tail, broad as a rafter, potent as a flail, so he grew lord and master of his kin. But who shall tell the tale of all their woes? An execrable appetite arose. He battened on them, crunched, and sucked them in. He knew no law, he feared no binding law, but ground them with inexorable jaw. The luscious fat distilled upon his chin, exuded from his nostrils and his eyes, while still like hungry death he fed his maw, till every minor crocodile being dead and buried too, himself gorged to the full. He slept with breath oppressed and unstrung claw. O marvel, passing strange, which next I saw. In sleep he dwindled to the common size, and all the empire faded from his coat. Then from far off a winged vessel came, swift as a swallow, subtle as a flame. I know not what it bore of fright or host, but white it was, as an avenging ghost. It levelled strong Euphrates in its course, supreme yet weightless as an idle mote. It seemed to tame the waters without force, till not a murmur swelled or billow beat. Lo, as the purple shadow swept the sands, the prudent crocodile rose on his feet, and shed appropriate tears and wrung his hands. What can it mean, you ask? I answer not, for meaning but myself must echo. What? And tell it as I saw it on the spot. Echo. Come to me in the silence of the night. Come in the speaking silence of a dream. come with soft, rounded cheeks and eyes as bright as sunlight on a stream. Come back in tears, O memory, hope, love of finished years. O dream, how sweet, too bittersweet, whose awakening should have been in paradise, where souls, brimful of love, abide and meet, where thirsting, longing eyes watch the slow door that opening, letting in, lets out no more. Yet come to me in dreams that I may live my very life again, though cold in death. Come back to me in dreams that I may give pulse for pulse, breath for breath. Speak low, lean low, as long ago, my love, how long ago? Twilight calm. Oh, pleasant eventide, clouds on the western side grow grey and greyer, hiding the warm sun. The bees and birds, their happy labors done, seek their close nests and bide. Screened in the leafy wood, the stock doves sit and brood. The very squirrel leaps from bough to bough, but lazily pauses and settles now, where once he stored his food. One by one the flowers close, lily and dewy rose, shutting their tender petals from the moon. The grasshoppers are still, but not so soon, are still the noisy crows. The dormouse squats and eats choice little dainty bits. Beneath the spreading roots of a broad lime, nibbling his fill, he stops from time to time and listens where he sits. From far the lowings come of cattle driven home. From farther still the wind brings fitfully the vast continual murmur of the sea, now loud, now almost dumb. The gnats whirl in the air, the evening gnats, and there the owl opes broad his eyes and wings to sail. For prey the bat wakes, and the shellless snail comes forth, clammy and bare. Hark! That's the nightingale, telling the self-same tale. Her song told when this ancient earth was young, so echoes answered where the song is sung. In the first wooded vale, we call it love and pain, the passion of her strain, and yet we live, understand or know. Why should it not be rather joy that so throbs in each throbbing vein? In separate herds the deer lie, here the bucks, and here the does, and by its mother sleeps the fawn, through all the hours of night until the dawn. They sleep, forgetting fear. The hare sleeps where it lies, with weary half-closed eyes. The cock has ceased to crow, the hen to cluck. Only the fox is out, some heedless duck, or chicken to surprise. Remote, each single star comes out, till there they are, all shining brightly, how the dews fall damp, while close at hand the glowworm lights her lamp. or twinkles from afar. But evening now is done, as much as if the sun, day giving, had arisen in the east. For night has come, and the great calm has ceased. The quiet suns have run. Mirage. The hope I dreamed of was a dream, was but a dream, and now I wake, exceeding comfortless and worn and old for a dream's sake. I hang my harp upon a tree, a weeping willow in a lake. I hang my silenced harp there, wrung and snapped, for a dream's sake. Lie still, my breaking heart, my silent heart, lie still and break. Life and the world and mine own self are changed, for a dream's sake. Sound sleep. Some are laughing, some are weeping. She's sleeping, only sleeping. Round her rest, wildflowers are creeping. There the wind is heaping, heaping. Sweetest sweets of summer's keeping. By the cornfields ripe for reaping. There are lilies and their blushes, the deep rose and there the thrushes. Sing till late as sunlight flushes. In the west, a fresh wind brushes through the leaves while evening hushes. There by day the lark is singing, and the grass and weeds are springing. There by night the bat is winging, there forever winds are bringing, far off chimes of church bells ringing. Night and morning, noon and even, their sound fills our dreams with heaven. The long strife at length is striven, till our grave bounds shall be riven. Such is the good portion given to our soul at rest and shriven. Uphill. Does the road wind uphill all the way? Yes, to the very end. Will the day's journey take the whole long day? From morn to night, my friend. But is there for the night a resting place, a roof when the slow dark hours begin? May not the darkness hide it from my face? You cannot miss that inn. Shall I meet other wayfarers at night? Those who have gone before, then must I knock or call when just in sight? They will not keep you standing at that door. Shall I find comfort, travel sore and weak? Of labor you shall find the sum. Will there be beds for me and all who sick? Yea, beds for all who come. Sleep at sea. Sound the deep waters. Who shall sound that deep? Too short the plummet, and the watchmen sleep. Some dread of effort, up a toilsome steep. Some dream of pasture grounds for harmless sheep. White shapes flit to and fro from mast to mast. They feel the distant tempest that nears them fast. Great rocks are straight ahead, great shoals not past. They shout to one another upon the blast. Oh, soft the stream-struck music between the hills, and musical the birds' nests beside those rills. The nests are types of home, love hidden from ills. The nests are types of spirits, love music feels. So dream the sleepers, each man in his place. The lightning shows the smile upon each face. The ship is driving, driving, it drives apace. And sleepers smile and spirits bewail their case. The lightning glares and buttons across the skies. It seems but sunset to those sleeping eyes. When did the sun go down on such a wise? From such a sunset, when shall day arise? Wake, call the spirits, but to heedless ears. They have forgotten sorrows and hopes and fears. They have forgotten pearls and smiles and tears. Their dream has held them long, 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 long years and years. Wake, call the spirits again, but it would take a louder summons to beat them awake. Some dream of pleasure for another's sake. Some dream forgetful of a lifelong ache. One by one, slowly, oh, how sad and slow, wailing and praying, the spirits rise and go. Clear stainless spirits, white as snow, pale spirits wailing for an overthrow. One by one, fleeting, like a mournful bird whose song is tired at last for no mate heard. The loving voice is silent, the useless word. One by one, fleeting, sick, with hope deferred. Driving and driving, the ship drives amain, while swift from mast to mast, shapes flit again. Flit silent as the silence where men lie slain. Their shadow cast upon the sails is like a stain. No voice to call the sleepers, no hand to raise. They sleep to death in dreaming of length of days, vanity of vanities. The preacher says, vanity is the end of all their ways. Now let us continue with the male now, with the poet Alfred Edward Housman, also known as A.E.Housman. I don't think it's a coincidence that the Talamasca series now has decided to name a character Housman, since Mrs. Rice's husband was a poet. I think we're on the right track. So let's keep going. Astronomy. The wane upon the northern steep descends and lifts away. Oh, I will sit me down and weep for bones in Africa, for pay and medals, name and rank, things that he has not found. He hove the cross to heaven and sunk the pole star underground. And now he does not even see signs of the nadir roll. At night, over the ground where he is buried with the pole. When the eye of day is shut. When the eye of day is shut, and the stars deny their beams, and about the forest hut blows the roaring wood of dreams, from deep clay, from desert rock, from the sunk sands of the main, come not at my door to knock, hearts that loved me not again. Sleep, be still, turn to your rest in the lands where you are laid, in far lodgings east and west. Lie down on the beds you made, in gross marl, in blowing dust, in the drowned ooze of the sea, where you would not, lie you must, and not with me. Revolution. West and away the wheels of darkness roll. Day's beamy banner up the east is borne. Spectres and fears the nightmare enfold, drown in the golden deluge of the morn. But over sea and continent from sight, safe to the Indies has the earth conveyed, the vast and moon-eclipsing cone of night, her towering fool's cap of eternal shade. See, in mid-heaven the sun is mounted, hark, the belfries tingle to the noonday chime, 'tis silent, and the subterranean dark has crossed the nadir and begins to climb. When summer's end is nighing, when summer's end is nighing, and skies at evening cloud, I muse on change in fortune, and all the feats I vowed when I was young and proud. The weathercock at sunset would lose the slanted ray, and I would climb the beacon that looked 2 wells away and saw the last of day. From hill and cloud and heaven, the hues of evening died. Night welled through lane and hollow, and hushed the countryside. But I had youth and pride, and I, with earth and nightfall in converse high, would stand late till the west was ashen, and darkness hard at hand, and the eye lost the land. The year might age and cloudy, the lessening day might close, but air of other summers breathed from beyond the snows, and I had hope of those. They came and were and are not, and come no more anew, and all the years and seasons that ever can ensue must now be worse and few. So here's an end of roaming on eves when autumn nights. The ear too fondly listens for summer's parting sigh. and then the heart replies. Tell me, not here, it needs not saying. Tell me, not here, it needs not saying. What tune the enchantress plays? In aftermaths of soft September, or under blanching Mays, for she and I were long acquainted, and I knew all her ways. On russet floors, by wattles idle, the pine lets fall its cone. The cuckoo shouts all day at nothing, in leafy dells alone. And travelers' joy beguiles in autumn hearts that have lost their own. On acres of the seeded grasses, the changing burnish heaves, or marshalled under moons of harvest, stand still all night the sheaves, or beeches strip in storms for winter and stain the wind with leaves. Possess, as I possess the season, the countries I resign, where over elmy plains the highway would mount the hills and shine, and full of shade the pillared forest would murmur and be mine. For nature, heartless, witless nature, will neither care nor know what strangest feet may find the meadow and trespass there and go, nor ask amid the dews of morning if they are mine or no. Soldier from the wars returning, soldier from the wars returning, spoiler of the taken town, here is ease that asks not earning, turn you in and sit you down. Peace is come and wars are over, welcome you and welcome all. While the charger crops the clover and his bridle hangs in store. Now no more of winter's biting, filth and trench from fall to spring. Summer's full of sweat and fighting, for the Kessa or the king. Rest you, charger, rest you, bridle, kings and Kisas, keep your pay. Soldier, sit you down and idle at the inn of night foray. Spring morning, star and kernel and bell, April underfoot renews, and the hope of man as well, flowers among the morning dews. Now we all come out to look, winter past and winter's pains, how the sky in pool and brook glitters in the grassy plains. Easily the gentle air wafts the turning season on. Things to comfort them are there, though 'tis true, the best are gone. Now the scorned unlucky lad, rousing from his pillow gnawn, mends his heart and deep and glad, drinks the valiant air of dawn. Half the night he longed to die, now are sown on hill and plain, pleasures worth his while to try. Here he longs to die again. Blue, the sky from east to west arches and the world is wide, though the girl he loves the best rouses from another's side. Welcome to the final chapter of our journey tonight. We'll close with the lovely Emily Dickinson. Close your eyes and just drift off with these words. Here we go. The sleeping flowers. Whose are the little beds? I asked. Which in the valleys lie? Some shook their heads and others smiled, and no one made reply. Perhaps they did not hear, I said. I will inquire again. Whose are the beds, the tiny beds, so thick upon the plain? 'Tis Daisy in the shortest, a little farther on, nears the door to wake the first, little Leontodon. 'Tis Iris, sir, and Aster, Anemone and Bell, Batskia in the blanket red, and chubby Daffodil. Meanwhile, at many cradles her busy foot she plied, humming the quaintest lullaby that ever rocked a child. Hush! Epigea awakens. The crocus stirs her leaves. Rhodora's cheek is crimson, she's dreaming of the woods. Then, turning from them, reverent, their bedtime it is, she said. The bumblebees will wake them when April woods are red. I have a king who does not speak. I have a king who does not speak. So, wandering through the hours meek, I trudge the day away, half glad when it is night and sleep, if happily through a dream to peep in parlors shut by day. And if I do, when morning comes, it is as if 100 drums did round my pillow roll, and shouts fill all my childish sky, and bells keep saying victory from steeples in my soul. And if I don't, the little bird within the orchard is not heard, and I omit to pray, Father, thy will be done today, for my will goes the other way, and it were perjury. Dreams. Let me not mar that perfect dream by an auroral stain, but so adjust my daily night that it will come again. The soul's storm. It struck me every day. The lightning was as new as if the cloud that instant slit and let the fire through. It burned me in the night. It blistered in my dream. It sickened fresh upon my side with every morning's beam. I thought that storm was brief, the maddest, quickest by, but nature lost the date of this and left it in the sky. Our share of night to bear, our share of night to bear, our share of morning, our blank and bliss to fill, our blank and scorning. Here a star and there a star, some lose their way. Here a mist and there a mist, and afterwards, day. In a library, a precious, mouldering pleasure 'tis to meet an antique book in just the dress his century wore, a privilege, I think, his venerable hand to take, and warming in her own, passage back or two to make, to times when he was young, his quaint opinions to inspect, his knowledge to unfold, on what concerns our mutual mind, the literature of old. What interested scholars most, what competitions ran, when Plato was a certainty, and Sophocles a man, when Sappho was a living girl, and Beatrice wore the gown that Dante deified. Facts, centuries before. He traverses familiar as one should come to town and tell you all your dreams were true. He lived where dreams were sung. His presence is enchantment. You beg him not to go. Old volumes shake their vellum heads and tantalize. Just so. Much madness is divinest sense. Much madness is divinest sense to a discerning eye. Much sense, the starkest madness, 'tis the majority. And this, as all prevails, assent, and you are sane. Demure, you're straightway dangerous, and handled with chain. Dawn. When night is almost done and sunrise grows so near that we can touch the spaces, it's time to smooth the hail and get the dimples ready and wonder we could care for that old faded midnight that frightened but an hour. We grow accustomed to the dark. We grow accustomed to the dark when light is put away. as when the neighbor holds the lamp to witness her goodbye. A moment we uncertain step for newness of the night, then fit our vision to the dark and meet the road erect. And so of larger darknesses, those evenings of the brain when not a moon discloses sign or star come out within. The bravest grope a little and sometimes hit a tree directly in the forehead, but as they learn to see, either the darkness alters or something in the sight adjusts itself to midnight and life steps almost straight. Renunciation. There came a day at summer's fall entirely for me. I thought that such were for the saints, where revelations be. The sun, as common, went abroad, the flowers accustomed to blue, as if no soul the solstice past that maketh all things new. The time was scarce profaned by speech, the symbol of a word was needless as its sacrament, the wardrobe of our Lord. Each was to each the sealed church, permitted to commune this time, lest we too awkward show at supper of the Lamb. The hours slid fast as ours will, clutched tightly by greedy hands, so faces on two decks look back, bound to opposing lands. And so, when all the time had failed, without external sound, each bound the other's crucifix, we gave no other bond. Sufficient troth that we shall rise, deposed at length the grave, to that new marriage justified through cavalries of love. The sea of sunset. This is the land the sunset washes. These are the banks of the yellow sea. Where it rose or whither it rushes, these are the western mystery. Night after night her purple traffic strews the landing with opal bales. Merchantmen poise upon horizons, dip and vanish with fairy sails. Purple clover. There is a flower that bees prefer and butterflies desire. To gain the purple democrat, the hummingbirds aspire. And whatsoever insect pass, a honey bears away, proportioned to his several dearth and her capacity. Her face is rounder than the moon, and ruddier than the gown of orchis in the pasture or rhododendron worn. She doth not wait for June before the world is green, her sturdy little countenance against the wind is seen, and tending with the grass, near kinsman to herself for privilege of sword and sun, sweet litigants for life. And when the hills are full, and new fashions blow, doth not retract a single spice for pang of jealousy. Her public is the noon, her providence the sun, her progress by the bee proclaimed in sovereign, swerveless tune. The bravest of the host, surrendering the last, nor even of defeat aware when cancelled by the frost. A day, I'll tell you how the sun rose, a ribbon at a time, the steeplest swam in amethyst, the news like squirrels ran. The hills untied their bonnets, the bobolinks began. Then I said softly to myself, that must have been the sun. But how he said, I know not. There seemed a purple stile, which little yellow boys and girls were climbing all the while. Till, when they reached the other side, a dominie in grey put gently up the evening bars and led the flock away. The nearest dream. The nearest dream recedes unrealized. The heaven we chase, like the June bee, before the schoolboy invites the raves, stoops to an easy clover, dips, evades, teases, deploys. Then to the royal clouds lifts his light penis, heedless of the boy, staring bewildered at the mocking sky, homesick for steadfast honey. Ah, the bee flies not, that brews that rare variety. The brain is wider than the sky. The brain is wider than the sky, for put them side by side, the one the other will contain, with ease and you beside. The brain is deeper than the sea, for hold them blue to blue, the one the other will absorb, as sponges buckets do. The brain is just the weight of God, for heft them pound for pound, and they will differ if they do, a syllable from sound.